Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with a spicy story for you. Oh my, we gotta do this. It's a spicy.
Get a big old glass of ice cold water to wash this down. Maybe a glass of milk. Might even go ahead and bring some Oreos to dip that in after.
Here we go. Spicy story title is, Am I the Astronaut for Leaving the Hospital After My Sister Gave Birth and Announced the Name of Her Baby? I, 32 female, have been dealing with infertility for 7 years now. My husband and I are prepared for the fact that we might never get to have a child together, but it's not easy. We're both currently in individual therapy to help us process all of this and to find a way to be at peace regardless of what the future holds for us. But I truly hope we are lucky enough to have a child. My husband and I have baby names picked out. We never talk about them, but we have a little note on our baby name book with our boy and girl name pick. It's in our bedroom. We don't look at it much anymore, but it keeps us hoping, you know? My sister, 36 female, has 5 daughters, and 2 weeks ago she gave birth to her first son. My husband was working, but I was at the hospital with my parents and my sister's in-laws waiting for the birth. Once he was born, we were called in to meet nephew, and my sister told us they'd chosen the name Elio for him. She said the name was originally mine and my husband's top choice, but since we wouldn't be having any kids after all this time, she decided they should use it and not let the name go to waste by being kept secret by me. Oh, clutches pearls. Gasp. This, me, like the brother was showing up in the room and I was like, hey sis, and this goes down. Panic moonwalking right out of that room. That's terrible. My gosh. It was then I remember seeing my sister at my room while she was pregnant a few months before. I thought nothing of it at the time, but realized she'd been snooping. My parents asked how she could do that without talking to me first. My sister replied that it seemed like a shame to waste a perfectly good name if I asked her not to use it. I couldn't handle it and I left. I didn't even say congrats or anything. I left and went home and I cried for a while. The very next day, my sister called and asked me why I made such a big deal. She also decided to drop that she was hurt that I never discussed my baby names with her, was gatekeeping them, even when I knew I wouldn't have a baby. I asked her how she could go out of her way to take the one name my husband and I had picked. She called me sensitive. I ended the call without another word. My parents checked in on me 2 days after. But since then, my parents have said that I should let it go and apologize for walking out. My sister also said I made her postpartum time, and it was very selfish on my part. Am I the astronaut? You are not OP, but your sister is a Contosaurus Rex. And you know what? This is a spicy story. So we're getting Candy Thunder up here to give some feedback. Let's get her. Come on, Spicy Candy. Let's go. Let's go, Spicy Candy. Fired up.
I haven't had as much Diet Coke today. Not as much caffeine. I'm gonna say something, and I could be completely off base. But this, Tony sent me the story this morning, and so this was what I have read, and this is what popped into my mind. She said her sister had 5 girls, and then had a boy. Which is 6 kids. And the thought popped into my head that if she's going to steal the name and treat the sister like this, is she having kids because it's something that her sister cannot do? And so she's having more kids. Like, I'm just asking. That is, it happened. Like, it popped into my head, and I was like, is that a possibility?
Dude.
I don't know. Like, I don't know, but it was like one of those thoughts that just popped into my brain, and I was like, the way that she treated her sister and the way that she I know this term is used all the time, but the gaslighting is hot. And so I feel like she could be having but she has 6 kids, and I mean, we have 5, so I'm not judging to have that many kids.
It's a lot.
But it's her sister's 32. It doesn't say, I don't think it said how old sister was. Did it? 36. 36. So I don't know. Just a random thought, but I mean, I'm not gonna have that many babies just to that's insane. But
she is really committed to causing her pain.
The vibes that she gave off was like, I'm gonna do this because you can't, and like she keeps saying, I'm gonna take your name because you're never gonna have a baby. And
she didn't just announce that she was using that name. Yeah. She announced she was using that name because you couldn't have a kid.
Which is exactly why it makes me think that she's having kids to get at
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, I mean, you do you, but that 6 kids is a lot of work, especially if you're having them in a short period of time. That is a lot of work.
Ah.
Aren't 6 kids like a tax write-off? I would not have 6 kids just to save on. No, I would not. It's too much work. Ours were very spaced out.
Except for the teens.
Yeah. And then there was something, Risa, what was it? Okay. Yeah. And getting pregnant is not the only way to have a baby. Like she could have a baby by like surrogacy. She could adopt. I mean, like there's so many other things. And if she wants to get a dog and name it that same name, then she can do that. But you don't get to just go into somebody's room and snoop through their shit and take a name because you think you have some God-given right to it. That's insane. Like that is insanity to me.
Yes, truly. There's something nefarious going on here, and your sister is asking on. It's terrible. I would like to offer you a petty solution. As you start acquiring animals, plants, anything you would like to name, don't use the same name. Elisio, is that what it was?
Elio, I think.
Elio, okay. Use a modification of that name.
Right.
Yeah, when you end up getting a dog, hey, this is Delio. And then you get, a plant named
like it.
Belio, and you get Melio, and you get Keelio. And you see what I'm saying? You can just like beat the hell out of that name just to stick it back to her. You wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't do that, but still. Yeah.
His name is Elliot, but we call him Elio for short.
That's right. What's the
Elia.
dealio, Elio?